Peace, what up, y'all? It is Neff, and we are at the gentleman's board once again. All right, so in a previous video, I talked about how I was gonna get into this, and here we are. Um, today is the day that we're gonna talk about exclusive versus leasing. Yes, and before we talked about the free and type beats, so this kind of led up to where we are here. And I'm excited to talk about this. It's a very I guess you could say, controversial subject within hip hop, especially underground hip hop. Um, and it's just dope to talk about. It's just another subject to talk about that we can really get in on. So let's just begin. All right, we're gonna start with exclusive because exclusive is where it all started. Um, Now exclusive, let's just people that are kind of new in the game now, and you started when leasing was an option. Now before it used to just be exclusive, and it would just be like, yo, I'm a producer, I got beats, boom, and you would get the beat from them, and that's what is called an exclusive. Now, what that is that producer and that artist, they had that beat, that artist came in, boom. No one else is rapping on that beat. No one else is doing anything to that beat, okay? It's just how a song was being made. Coffee time. Shout out to Kenzie for making the mug, my daughter. So now it all kind of changed. Now a producer can do what's called a lease, and they can sell that to many different artists, whatever, this and that. So an exclusive. What I want to talk to you guys about, especially artist and producer, both of you, okay? An exclusive does not mean you have this beat right here and you sell it to an artist and then it's theirs and they own it. It does not mean that, okay? That is a buyout, which I would suggest don't ever do, because always own your stuff. If you're a producer, don't do buyouts, bro. Um, Own your material. When you make that beat, it is automatically copywritten naturally, okay? As soon as you created it, it's yours, buddy. Man, you own that. Keep owning it. Because you never know what could happen to a song. It could get placed in a TV show. It could get placed in radio. Whatever it is, just make sure you own that. And take ownership of your business as well, people. So, the exclusive, what that means is when a producer sells the beat to an artist, that producer is not able to sell that beat to another artist. What it is now it's use the word regular, okay? Use the word exclusive regular, like how anybody would use it. Now that beat is exclusively that artist. That doesn't mean that they own it. That means it's exclusive, like a monogamous relationship. All right, there's nothing going on outside of that. That means that the artist, it is theirs to work with, okay? But whatever you two agree on, a lot of times it's 50-50. The producer owns 50% and the artist owns 50%. That can change, but that's normally what it goes with, is because it's with royalties. We'll get into this in other videos, but in royalties it's your writer's share and your composer's share, okay? Now, that's just kind of how it is. There's half for that and half for this. Then you start adding labels and you start adding publishing companies and whatnot. Things, you can change and you can negotiate. You can do all that fun stuff. But that's what an exclusive would be. Exclusive just means that now it's the artist. The producer cannot, all right? So say if you're, let's go back to this. Say if you're a producer and you're someone that leases beats, okay? All it means is once that person gets that exclusive, yo, take that down, okay? Also, keep in mind, artists, if you're going on a producer's website and they offer exclusive and lease on that beat, that probably means that that beat has been leased before. All right, so you want to feel out what your kind of environment is. Is this an environment where it's like a Dropbox link and whatever? excuse me, and that beat has never been leased before, well, that's a good chance that it's never been leased before. But let's say if you're on a website where they offer free downloads and the leasing and the this and this, but you can also get that beat for exclusive. Well, okay, cool, that's fine too, but that just means that that beat's probably been leased to other people. They're allowed to make that music, and now that producer cannot have that beat anywhere else after that purchase, okay? So I would, if it was me, okay, this is just me, but if I'm going for an exclusive, I probably want to get a beat that's never been leased. So ask that producer if they have a stash of beats that have never been leased. And you can totally do that. Me personally, that's how I do it. I run both sides. I get more business currently on the exclusive side. So I have a whole beat store that's with just exclusives. People check out, and then I also have another private link with more beats that just haven't hit that store yet too. But then I have my beats that are can be leased or exclusive. Okay, it's just a lot of personal preference that comes in on this, and this is also why this is so can be so controversial because there's so much personal preference that can be made on all of these decisions. Okay. Now with leasing, okay, guys, we're gonna get into leasing a little bit more. I feel like we already touched a lot of base on that, but we already talked about it a lot. But let's talk about it a little more. Now with leasing, you're like, hey, I'm a producer. I'm gonna put my beats up. I want to lease them. I'm gonna have all these different tiers. Blah blah blah. That's dope. You can do that. So you have like, we're just doing examples. We're not saying anything is this or that. You have a website, your producer or your whatever, you're going on the website, basic MP3 and wave. Then you get your pro with the track outs, and you get the unlimited. Okay, that's dope. Okay, so you just want a 2-track. Maybe you're just doing some like TikTok or Instagram content, whatever. You're just like, I just need a little freestyle. Boom. Hey, that's perfect. Go get that beat for like, I don't know, they're like $20 to $50 for a 2-track normally. Okay, give or take. All right, don't quote me on that, but that's normally how they would be, like $20 to $50. And then you get the pro. Okay, it's going to be a little more, but it's not going to hit you over the head. All right, now that gets you, or whatever they want to call it, stems, whatever they call it. Default would be the pro track outs. Okay, now you get this, but other people can still get this beat, right? Um, but you are able to use it almost like an exclusive. You get the track outs, you get a little more that you can do with it, this and that. All right, now we're going to move to whatever people normally call it, the unlimited license. Now, this is what I'll say. Unlimited is basically like an exclusive. You get to use it the same way, but other people get to use it as well. So if you don't really care about that, hey, do your unlimited. Hey, it's fine. There are millions probably of rappers out there. There are millions and millions and billions of fans out there. They're not always going to find it. So if you want to if you're on that kind of budget or whatever, but you want to go and take your stuff seriously, that unlimited, you can do whatever you want with it. The producer still gets ownership. You guys can come up with a split, whatever. But you can do whatever you want with it. You can have it on radio. You can have music videos, sell whatever kind of distribution you want. The only thing is that someone's probably used it before. All right. So those are those are the tiers. Those are the basic tiers. Okay. And I hope that if you have some more insight, put it in the comments, man, or hit me up. If I was wrong about something, let me know. But this is from my experiences, years of talking to people. This is me talking in layman's terms, okay? We're not talking in weird little things. We're talking just regular, all right? And that's what I love about here at the Gentleman's Board. We're gonna talk to you as a conversation, all right? Now that's the exclusive versus lease. We're going to get into more stuff about that. Check out the other videos. We got more offerings. And hey, man, peace and blessings, y'all. Until then, next time.